Hello everyone and welcome to A Slice of My Life. Today I will be talking about the CRKT Ruger Knives LCK, and this is the reverse tanto version. And I want to say first of all thank you to William because he actually gifted this to me. I believe he meant for it to be a Christmas present, although we met, I believe when he gave this to me it was after Christmas. But William, thank you so much. If not for William, I probably would never ever have considered having this in my collection. I believe that he chose this knife to gift to me after watching Nick Shabazz's video about it, and only after I actually had it in hand I realized, wow, this is actually a pretty good knife. And I'll have to be honest, if not for William, I probably would not have paid any attention to this knife whatsoever, but only because he gifted it to me and I realized how good this knife actually is, I went online and looked up a few other videos and I realized, wow, everyone sang nothing but praises about this knife. And so I was like, okay, this is quite cool. It seems like a pretty good knife. I'm gonna put it on my EDC and then we'll see how it goes. And so guys, I'm back. I mean, it is now almost March, so this has been on my EDC for about, I would say, a good 1 month or so. I mean, you could see that it's got, okay, well, maybe it's not showing up so well on camera, but there's dust in there already. It's like pocket lint, a bit of dog fur. Yep, that's a strand of Maya's fur in there. I've used it a bit, but I've also cleaned it up, so I don't think you could see any of the gunk left over. Maybe some on the grind here, the edge grind. Yeah, on the back you could see a bit of use here, some couple of marks. So put this thing through a bit of use. I didn't beat it up too badly, but I gotta tell you guys that I'm really very impressed with this knife, and I can see why everyone was singing praises about this. First of all, I will get the price point out of the way. This is, at least, well, at this point of time, it is listed on the Blade HQ website at $29.95 US, but it is sold out. Now, there are two versions of this knife. This is the reverse tanto version. The other version is the drop point version that features a satin finish blade, but this one is the murdered out full black version. And William knows my taste. He knows I love reverse tantos because he saw me getting that feist in reverse tanto version. So some of the aesthetics and a bit of detail about the knife in terms of how it's made and things like that. Flipping over to the side, this is a liner lock. You can tell by that liner right there, and the scales are made of GRN glass reinforced nylon, and these scales feature this very cool milling pattern, or I can't really say it's a milling pattern, but these scales actually have this very nice pattern that offer a very good look. I actually am quite a fan of these kind of designs, angular and quite aggressive looking, quite stylistic and cool. And of course it offers a pretty good amount of grip because GRN in general is quite slippery, although this has this really subtle, almost like it's media blasted kind of finish. And the same thing is also present on the other side of the scale, the lock side. Now this features a deep carry pocket clip, and I gotta say that this deep carry pocket clip is really deep. Look at that, it's all the way. So when you have this knife in your pocket, you're not gonna see anything at all peeking out, like none of it. Let me just grab a knife pouch and kind of show you guys. So see, once it slides into your pocket, see, that's all you'll see sticking out of your pocket. It sits completely flush, like totally flush. So it's really a nice deep carry pocket clip. I like the way it's made, but I want to add on that these screws here that hold the pocket clip in place are also completely flush when you look at it from the side profile, so you know that none of the screws are going to be scraping against the inside of your pocket. Unfortunately, this is the only orientation available for the pocket clip because, yep, there are no other slots for the pocket clip in any other orientation. So this is going to be right side tip up carry only, and on top of that, it's got a cut out in this side of the scale to house the pocket clip, so it actually slips inside. But the thing is, you could easily remove it, and then this could be almost kind of ambidextrous. So G-Man, this is yes and no, because yeah, the liner lock is still on the left side and that still favors right-handed use. Next, the hardware is all black as well. I'm not sure if it is the same coating as what's on the blade, and this I believe is a black PVD coating. I may be completely wrong, I'm sorry. And yeah, well, you guys saw the action. It's pretty cool. It has a finger choil here, very nice finger choil, I gotta say. It's very generous and very comfortable, and versus other knives, it doesn't scare you in terms of usage because you'll be able to comfortably have your index finger up here just to choke up, and this feels really comfortable. It does not have any jimping on the spine, and that is a little bit unfortunate, but any jimping here would kind of take away from the overall very sleek look. And you guys can tell, since I said sleek, that this is actually quite a slim knife in all aspects, so it's pretty good. Now the cutout here, the recessed area for you to disengage the lock bar. On the show side, it is recessed further in than the lock bar is, so that you don't have to jam your thumb all the way in, like for example on the Kaiser Feist. So this is actually pretty comfortable, just really easy for you to disengage and lock. Now, next I'm gonna say this thing is really smooth. The action is really awesome, and this runs on phosphor bronze washers. So for that, it's really quite cool. Like, the whole thing is really smooth, and mind you guys, I've not opened this thing up before. This is the performance out of the box, and I've been EDCing this for almost a month, and it's really smooth. I mean, of course, not drop shutty, but even closing up like that, there is no resistance whatsoever. This thing just glides really nicely, and when it opens up, this thing just opens up with authority, and I love it. It's really nice, smooth, and I gotta say, this is quite an impressive knife, especially at the price point. Now, the blade steel is 8 CR13 MOV, which is nothing new coming out of CRKT. It's quite a good steel, I would say. Okay, this is the first time this has happened on this channel, but just as a testament to how sharp this knife is, I actually cut myself twice on the knuckle of my thumb just by closing it. So I kind of bumped the blade on the top of my thumb twice in a row, like when I was closing it. So bump, and now I've got two really fresh, really clean cuts. I know this might be a bit disturbing or a bit graphic for you guys, so I'm gonna get some band-aids and just band-aid my thumb, so please hold on. Okay, I am back, and yeah, don't worry guys, I'm actually fine. So yeah, just a slight mishap. It happens sometimes, but you know, whenever you're dealing with knives, there is always the possibility of getting a little nick or a cut, so at least it wasn't anything serious, right? So now, just to show you guys some of the grips you know, that might look like on this knife itself. So here we got this grip with a thumb up here. I don't know what this is called anymore, I apologize. And then we've got a hammer grip. Yep, just like that. It is really comfortable, I'm gonna tell you guys. The thing is, this is sleek, but it offers you a pretty solid grip in hand. Like, this thing has some I can't really say the word heft, but at least you know it's quite comfortable in your hand. It's not the thickest and not the chonkiest of knives, but it's substantial enough to a point that it gives you a very secure grip. See, it feels nice in hand. And then of course, like I showed you guys earlier on, choke up, it's like that. Yep. So the hammer grip, the thumb on top, and of course the pointer grip like that. Now even up here like that, this works as well. And then we have, I think, this grip. What is this grip called? There is a grip that's kind of like that, right? Where you leverage by holding the sides. So yeah, the different grips, and of course the reverse grip. Pretty solid knife, I gotta say, pretty solid knife. Now with this knife already deployed, let's give it a quick size comparison before I wrap up the video. First of all, I'm gonna compare it to a Benchmade Mini Griptilian. Then we are going to compare it to a Spyderco Para 3. This is the Para 3 lightweight. Yeah, it's a lot more beat up now because yeah, I have been using it too. And this one I actually used to cut open some tin cans. Just don't ask me why, but yeah, I used it to open up some tin cans. And so yeah, you guys can see the size comparison. It is almost the same size in terms of overall length with a Spyderco Para 3. Last but not least is a CRKT Pilar. Of course, the Pilar is the smallest one out of the lot so far in terms of overall length at least. There we go. Now I will put the other specs of the knife here on screen as I give you guys my verdict on this thing. Now I gotta say, I am really surprised at this. For the price point and how it is made, I gotta say that this is actually very impressive. It's a super good value for money. Now this, like, under $30, guys, under $30 for this. In my opinion, this is possibly like one of my most gentlemanly style knives. Gentleman style folders, gentleman folders. I don't know what that whole category is, but you know, a lot of knives nowadays are in that category. The one thing that I don't like about it is that this flipper tab here, I feel like it doesn't go well with the entirety of the knife. Like, this aesthetically isn't as pleasing as the rest of the knife, you know, like it kind of sticks out, kind of weird. So this is really quite a weird pecker. The jimping here is alright, but at this angle here, right at the top, the very tip of it, that could be quite a hot spot. If you have it in your pocket, you know, when it sits like that and your hand goes in, you might rub against it, or if you have any other thing in your pocket, this thing is going to be knocking against that. But on the other side though, it is super clean, super smooth, and especially the fact that this doesn't have any jimping on the spine of the blade, that adds even more cleanliness to the overall design aesthetic of this. So there are a lot of plus points to this thing. It is a very good user. For that price point, of course, you are not able to expect any kind of stellar usage of materials. So we're talking about GRN, we're talking about HCR13 MOV, and I believe that the liners as well as the pocket clip are made of stainless steel. But It's a very, very good looking murdered out full black knife in case anyone wants to get it. Maybe, let's just say maybe it is not a knife that you will get for yourself to use, because I don't know, if you want to get a knife and you want something that you could be using all the time, you know, I personally would recommend, say for example, a Para 3 lightweight, something of a better steel maybe. And I've heard a lot of people requesting CRKT to release this in a higher steel version, like maybe for example a sprint run with better steel, you know, S35VN or M390 or something. I don't know. Maybe they could even consider a carbon fiber version. I'm not so sure, but if that was the case, I think I would be sold on that. I like the logo placement as well. The logos here don't stick out too much. It's not gaudy. So you've got the Ruger logo as well as CRKT logo. And on the flip side, you have the LCK, which I realized I didn't even tell you guys what it stands for. The LCK stands for the lightweight compact knife, and it's a Matthew Lurch design right there. Lurch design. You got this R3802K. I believe this is the model number and not the blade steel, because the blade steel is always listed as 8CR13 MOV. And right now I'm looking at the Blade HQ website. This is sold out. I'm not sure how William got his hands on one of these for me for Christmas, so thank you, William. I am thoroughly enjoying my experience with the LCK so far. It's got a spot in my carry pouch. Like, this is actually sitting there because now it's already out of the EDC rotation. Look, it's just performing so well. It fires off really, really well, even in this orientation with the middle finger flick. Yeah, it's a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more hot spotty. It bites a bit more, but it's still definitely deployable. I enjoy that quite a bit. So once again, everyone, this was the CRKT Ruger LCK. Thank you, William, for this. I won't be running this through my rating system because this was a gift. And with that, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for sticking all the way throughout. If you guys like the content and you want to see more, please consider subscribing. And if you do subscribe, make sure that you hit that bell to be notified of any new uploads that I put out. Also, I run a Patreon page. I'll put a link up here to that. And if you do become a patron of mine, thank you so much in advance. It helps the channel out a lot and it really means a lot to me. And with that said, everyone, that is it. I will catch you all in the next slice of my life. Until then, everyone, Gaga Boost.